New York's Union Square is an upmarket residential and commercial district in the city, and so a Hyatt property a block away must be pretty nice, right? Find out the truth about this hotel coming up. I used to live, work, and go to school right around Union Square, so I've known about the Hyatt on 13th and 4th since the day that it opened, and I've always looked forward to having a chance to stay there. The location is ideal in just about every sense of the word. Transportation is easy with the 4, 5, 6, N, R, Q, W, and L trains at your doorstep. These 8 lines, plus a possible transfer at 42nd Street, will get you to literally anywhere in Manhattan. On top of that, convenient access to just about any coffee brand in the city, multiple 24-hour pharmacies, a Whole Foods, and a Trader Joe's. You will truly not be wanting for anything when staying on the square. So, location and convenience are what the hotel has definitely going for it. From the exterior, the hotel has a handsome facade with the upper floors being a bit more big box design. Before I go any further though, I want to explain one thing. When I created this channel earlier this year, it was my small effort to, at the time, prop up properties in Vietnam, where I live. I had no interest in filming or publishing negative reviews. Here's the thing though, sometimes experiences are just bad, sometimes really bad. And if my small voice in this arena can redirect your hard-earned money to a more, let's say, deserving property, then I consider that a win for both you and for the channel. I will never seek out poor experiences just to rack up views, but I need to be honest, and so, on with the tour. The lobby is nicely outfitted, if not a bit small. I was surprised at how corporate the crowd of this hotel was, and so the lobby was frequently full of business people conducting meetings or literally just meeting a colleague there. Considering how business-oriented this hotel ended up being though, the Wi-Fi was shockingly bad though throughout my stay. For my stay, I booked a courtyard view king room, the cheapest category on offer at the hotel, and the only category of rooms with courtyard views. Considering how beautiful the photos advertised for this property are, some of the design choices in person, or perhaps lack of design choices, were surprising and just boring. The room, well, it felt a lot smaller than advertised, which later I found out to be true. One small window and barely enough space to sit at the desk without constantly hitting the bed with the feet of the chair. While they advertised modern rooms with pops of vibrant patterns on the headboard and throughout the room, in reality, it was all very black and white, and nothing felt particularly premium. It was feeling much more like a Hyatt place rather than a proper Hyatt. At check-in, they made a relatively big deal about giving free water and handed me a small brown bag with 2 tiny bottles. The Evian, of course, was chargeable. The desk was well stocked with outlets and ports, but the services were worn fairly hard. Keep in mind this 178-room hotel is around 8 years old and was closed for much of the pandemic, according to the staff. Things in general were also not as clean as you'd hope for. The black curtains were covered in lint, the light fixtures were all dusty, and the duvet cover was physically smaller than the comforter inside. Otherwise, you had your standard TV and a very small closet. I would say that the bed had convenient nightstands on each side, but one was taken up by a coffee maker that might have predated the hotel. Any larger pieces of luggage would need to be stored on racks in front of the closet. The bathroom was fine, but again, not the layout as advertised, which showed an open floor plan integrated into the room itself. I will give them credit though for lots of storage space in a relatively small area. The shower was a decent size, but the controls were awkwardly behind the inward opening door. The second room I was in, which I'll explain in a moment, didn't have the same problem. So that second room. That night, I got back to my room around 7 p.m. and there was a lot of noise coming from two places. The most annoying came from what I thought was the rooftop as I was on the top floor. It sounded like someone rolling a really heavy cart over a not so smooth surface, but was loud, happening every 5 minutes or so. I assumed it would stop by, 10 p.m. The second was a ridiculously loud AC unit. Long story short, 10 o'clock comes around and the noise continued. I found out it was actually from the service elevator, the shaft of which was directly behind my bed. I called the front desk to ask if they'd be using the elevator all night, to which I received a reply of course they need to use it. You can come down and get a new key. The agent's attitude aside, I didn't want to move, but 30 minutes later the sound continued, and so I was given a different room on the third floor. This new room, although the same category, was around 20% larger and as advertised online. At 11 p.m., the front desk agent knocked on my door to give me a breakfast voucher. Breakfast the next morning was okay. The staff were not trained that well. The server didn't really know what an iced Americano was. The restaurant is nicely decorated, but despite how busy this hotel felt during my stay, it was near empty when I finished at 8:30. After the meal, I wanted to go check out the rooftop lounge, which was one of the things I was most looking forward to do. I got in the elevator and hit the RT button, which worked. On the way up, two other staff got on. One asked me why I was going to the roof, telling me there's quote-unquote nothing there. I said I'd seen photos of the rooftop online, to which he replied, clearly agitated, "Well, yeah, of course, this is a building. Every building has a roof, but you can't go to ours." The other employee, who was a front desk agent, said to him, you're right, as if to try to calm him down. I was honestly speechless, not just because there was no rooftop to see, but also because I can't remember the last time I'd consistently seen such bad attitudes from staff at an upscale hotel. I just wanted to get out, and so I checked out 20 minutes later. And so here is the flip-flop score. The room design was lacking. Some rooms didn't match the photos online, and they were just like black and white boxes. 5 out of 10. The condition was only slightly better, but the hotel is definitely in need of a renovation soon. 6 out of 10. The service was the worst I've had the entire year. 2 points just for the breakfast. The common areas were nice, but filled up quickly and felt too busy. 7 out of 10. Credit where it's due, the location is fantastic and easy 10. Cleanliness, especially since they recently just reopened, was not up to par at a 6. The F&B venues were nicely done, but the amenities in general were lacking, a 9 and 6 respectively. Connectivity was a joke. I ended up using my phone as a hotspot the entire stay, 2 out of 10. And finally, convenience was a strong point at a full 10 out of 10. Overall, a very disappointing 63 out of 100. There are many beautiful and deserving hotels in New York. This is unfortunately not one of them. Thanks for watching this quick review and subscribing. See you in a few days with a new travel review.